Hello, this is Ralph from Happy Dog Training. And I would like to talk about socialization. Because socialization is one of those things that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I had a very different view of socialization when I started dog training, 15, 16 years ago. And to me, socialization was the dog should be ignoring the environment, focus on me, not interact with others, not get excited about other dogs, and just behave themselves, basically, for me. And that was my view on socialization at the time. And I held that view for quite a while, to be honest. And it changed along the way. I changed my view on what socialization is and supposed to be quite a bit. And that has changed the way I work. It has changed the effect I can have on dogs. And it has changed how effective I can be helping animals in the training that I do. So what I now do, actually, I run a socialization group, which is mirrored after the Back to Basics socialization that Chad Mackin teaches. And I learned the way of socializing that I perform from him. And it's been a marvelous experience. I took the course with him last year, beginning of last year. So I've been doing this myself since last year, I believe, May or June, actively. And what I've seen in this group that I run for the last 9-10 months is just nothing short of marvelous in terms of changing dogs' perception about other dogs, about the environment, about people, about the reactivity. We've been able to help a lot of fearful dogs, a lot of insecure dogs. Those are ones that make the best progress in the social setting. And we allow them to do a lot of things in the social group. We have them in an area together with their owners. And everybody has to keep moving all the time. Well, the dogs can do whatever they want, but the people have to keep moving. And what we've seen in that socialization is that fearful dogs will come around starting to explore, starting to make a friend, make another, and then play with everybody after a while. So the changes have been kind of marvelous. And we're kind of facilitating what is natural to dogs. Dogs, and even more so the ancestors, the wolves, have extremely good social skills. Well, we should say some dogs have good social skills. The closer a dog is genetically or looks-wise, actually, to a wolf, the better the social skills usually are. And the further away from a wolf they are breed-wise and looks-wise, the poorer the social skills tend to be. But the socialization skills that wolves have to diffuse conflict and avoid fighting are probably the most sophisticated ones. And dogs have a lot of those. And those are the skills that allow dogs to avoid fights. They allow dogs to negotiate with each other. They allow dogs to show dominance and submissive behaviors towards each other and figure out how to interact, how to avoid fights, how to play, how to know where the line is. So you can really see in a setting like that how dogs in one-on-one interactions and in group interactions with each other of their own kind negotiate and learn. So we'll often stand there and watch dogs, couple of dogs, pile of dogs on top of each other, doing things that the first time owners come in leaves them with their mouth open, but we're just watching them and watching the decision making and watching the negotiations. And we only step in if a dog says no to another dog and the other dog refuses to listen to that. Then we'll help a little. But outside of that, we let a lot of things go. So in our socialization group, our dogs are allowed to do pretty much whatever they want to do, with two exceptions. They don't get to put holes in one another, and they don't get to engage in, let's call it, public displays of affection. And those two things aside, we let them pretty much do whatever it is they want to do. And so they can learn to interact with each other. They can learn to negotiate with each other. They can use their social skills and see how the other dog responds to those social skills. And you really see dogs be dogs amongst their own kind, and the learning process is just marvelous. So if you bring a dog in who's afraid of other dogs and has reactivity, after a while they'll come around and then they'll start letting dogs sniff them, and then they sniff a dog, and then it just goes from there. If we have dogs in there that are afraid of people, they'll leave the people alone because nobody's allowed to touch them. And then they start exploring and experiencing people, and hey, that's working out okay. So we have a lot of anxiety dogs that have gotten so much better over the years doing this, over the time we've been doing this. And it is a marvelous experience. So my view on socialization is now dogs need to be with other dogs. They need to be allowed to be around their own kind. They need to be allowed to be off leash, loose with their own kind. And they need to be allowed to be dogs around each other. They need to be allowed to negotiate, to growl, snarl, have their hair stand up, flash their teeth, grab each other, pull on each other, jump on top of each other, stand on top of each other, roll over each other. All these things that are totally normal communication need to be allowed under a supervised setting. Now, that almost sounds like a dog park, but it isn't, because there's structure and supervision from us. So our team, my team and I, we will step in if dogs don't listen to each other's signals. You don't have that in a dog park. And that's why socialization, the way we do it, is a much safer thing than a dog park. Now, I say much safer, I'm not saying it's safe. Because what we're essentially doing is we're taking a bunch of apex predators off leash in a group together. And we hope it all goes well. Now, that's an inherently stupid thing to be doing. Let's just face that. But we're going to do it every week. And we have done it very successfully. We never had any serious injuries. And it's actually, we have never had any injuries actually worth mentioning, not serious injuries. We have 2 times we had like dog was scratch here, but that's about it. So it's never been a puncture, never been a bite wound, never a serious injury to any human or dog in this entire endeavor. No dog fights. Little scuffles, negotiation and so, but nothing that escalated to any kind of level that would be an actual fight. And it's been a marvelous experience. So my view on socialization is it's essential. It is important. It helps with anxiety. It helps with fearful, submissive urination. It helps with separation anxiety. It can help with dogs fighting in the home. It can help with all kinds of other insecurities, with reactivity. The benefits are just endless. And I think we've created a lot of these problems we have with dogs with a social isolation that we have built with our fenced-in yards and dogs on leashes all the time that didn't exist 60, 70 years ago. And not saying that we can necessarily go back to the way things were, but the way we keep our dogs these days, we have to make an extra effort for them to have social time. We need to have play dates with them and social groups like the one I have. And if you have around you somewhere, great daycares can be good, but you have to find a great daycare. They're not all great, right? So that's the thing. A daycare needs to be proper supervised, and there needs to be kind of a similar thing than what we do in our socials for the daycare to be good. But that is a wonderful thing for your dog to have. And if you have the ability to attend a socialization or send your dog to a daycare a couple of times a week, please do that. That is going to be great for you and your dog. So if you want to know more about socialization, check us out on happydogtraining.com. We have the Doggy Social Club under services. If you're close to us, join us. The Doggy Social Club is a wonderful experience for the dogs and all their human companions. And that's it for today. I hope you found this informative. Socialize.